Omni-Man versus Homelander. Who win when they fight each other? Who is more powerful? For a few years now, we've been blessed with some of the greatest on-screen supervillains we've ever seen. And no, I'm not talking about Thanos. I'm talking about the two twisted versions of Superman himself, Homelander and Omni-Man. But for as similar as these two villains are, it isn't really fair to compare them when it comes to a fight. One of these guys is much, much, much more powerful than the other. Sure, people try and do it now and then, but today I'm going to prove once and for all why Omni-Man versus Homelander isn't even close. We're going to break down the feats, the psychology, everything to show you why this matchup isn't a fight, it's an execution. So if we're talking about Homelander, well, for starters, he's a psychopath, say, a truly unhinged lunatic who was grown in a lab, not born. He's got no problem killing anybody, and he's got that weird thing for milk, which is just weird. But the real question is just how strong is this guy? Well, he's quite literally the strongest man in the world and has never met anyone who's been his physical equal. And I guess you could argue Soldier Boy exists, but even then, in a straight-up fight, Homelander is still winning that one. Since he's the strongest hero in the world, it logically makes sense that he's stronger than all the other members of the Seven. He's stronger than Stormfront, who easily destroyed a building, and he's way stronger than Queen Maeve, who brought a speeding armored truck to a dead stop. But here's the thing. His power isn't flawless. He admitted he couldn't carry a hijacked plane to safety, which suggests he needs his feet planted on solid ground to use his full strength. He was hovering when a bus fell on him, and he couldn't stop it either. Bottom line, though, Homelander's pretty strong. But he's also a bully who's never been in a real fight, and his whole identity is built on being the strongest person in the room. What happens when he's not? Now, let me just take everything I just said about Homelander and flip it on its head, because Omni-Man is so much more powerful that it's not even funny. This guy isn't a lab experiment. He's from Viltrum, a planet of cosmic conquerors who culled their own people until only the strongest were left. He's over 2,000 years old, and for most of that time, his life has been nothing but brutal, non-stop warfare. While Homelander was posing for cameras, Omni-Man was conquering entire civilizations, and his mindset is the total opposite of Homelander's. Where Homelander is needy and panics under pressure, Omni-Man is cold, calculating, and ruthlessly efficient. He's a general behind enemy lines. I use the word hero to describe him very loosely. You don't see many heroes doing stuff like this. So when we put their feats side by side, the conversation shifts from who would win to how fast does Homelander get turned into a red mist. Let's start with strength. Homelander is strong for his world, yeah. He can overpower other supes and toss around jets, impressive stuff. But now, let's look at Omni-Man. His strength is measured on a planetary scale. Omni-Man has said before that he stopped an asteroid the size of Texas. He single-handedly destroyed the entire Flaxan civilization. And, most telling, he systematically slaughtered the Guardians of the Globe, taking on his world's entire Justice League at once and killing all of them. In the comics, he, along with two other Viltrumites, flew straight through the core of the planet Viltrum, causing it to explode. Let's be real. Homelander might be able to level a city. Omni-Man has leveled civilizations. Next up is speed. Homelander is fast, reaching speeds of over Mach 1.5, even outpacing a C4 explosion. He's a blur to normal people. But again, Omni-Man is on a whole other level. He's not just supersonic, he's massively faster than light, flying across star systems in weeks. And in combat, Omni-Man is insanely fast, like so fast he caught Red Rush, their version of the Flash, mid-blitz. The fastest man on his world was moving in slow motion to Omni-Man, who caught him, held him, and crushed his skull before he even knew what was happening. In a fight, Omni-Man could land 1,000 punches before Homelander's brain could even register the first one. And then there's durability. This is where Homelander's myth is biggest. Vought says they've thrown every weapon at him, and nothing's worked. But here's the thing. It's totally possible he isn't as durable as everyone makes him out to be. I mean, Queen Maeve stabbed him in the ear hole with a metal straw. A little deeper, and Homelander is done for. Soldier Boy's punches gave him bruises he had to cover up with foundation. This proves he can be hurt by someone with his level of power. Meanwhile, Omni-Man has flown through a planet's core, survived near a black hole, and tanked a planet-destroying space laser with just a nosebleed. Plus, Viltrumites have an insane healing factor. When the Guardians beat him half to death, he recovered. His durability has been tested on a cosmic scale, and he just keeps on ticking. So what about Homelander's one big advantage? His heat vision. More often than not, he's just completely spamming it all over the place. And for the most part, it's really effective in his universe. Against Omni-Man, first off, he'd be lucky to even land a hit. But let's say he did. Nolan has survived forces far greater, like the surface of a star. To him, Homelander's heat vision would be irritating, maybe. It might singe his suit. It is definitely not going to be a deciding factor. End of the day, this isn't really a contest. The biggest gap is experience and mentality. Homelander is a child conditioned for celebrity. He panics when he's not the strongest. Omni-Man is a soldier with thousands of years of combat experience against beings just as strong as he is. He is conditioned for war. So how does the fight go? It would be an execution. Homelander would show up, maybe make a smug remark, and before he could even finish the sentence, Omni-Man would close the distance. A single punch, not even full strength, would connect. And that's it. Homelander's body would be reduced to a fine red mist. He's not stronger, he's not faster, and he's definitely not tougher. Yeah, Homelander might have heat vision, but that's nothing Omni-Man hasn't seen before, and it definitely isn't going to stop Nolan from absolutely pulverizing him. These characters might be similar, but they aren't close. They aren't even comparable. Omni-Man should absolutely dominate Homelander in any fight they find themselves in. No doubt about it. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're going to have thoughts and feelings on this one, for sure. If you enjoyed this deep dive and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all next time.